The age of social media, all it takes nowadays to spark up an online fight is to merely have an opinion. One opinion will cause many to spiral into a pit hole of anger where no one dialogues, only insults the person who has the unpopular or even the popular opinion regarding the latest trends in comic books, movies, or pulp culture. It makes sense given the circumstance. After all, acting tough behind the protective wall of the black mirror we all own and use on a daily basis makes it easy for anyone to jump right into a tirade of insults and threats. Again, just for having an opinion that they may disagree with. I decided to go against that notion. I've decided to start a video series where we discuss the hot topic issues within the comic book industry and pulp culture and provide you with another perspective. One of logic, reason, with just plain old dialogue between two people who have different opinions. My co-host and I will discuss the pulp culture topics at hand in a fun, engaging, and respectable manner. So, without further ado, let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It after a pretty brief hiatus. As you can see, my co-host, the one and only Kyle, is not here with us tonight because, I don't want to speak on what happened. I'll let him tell you guys when he's back on the show. But he's not here tonight. But with me anyway is Mr. Nick Patch at Strange Pages from on Twitter or X. Nick, welcome to the show, man.
How's it going? Glad to be here.
Good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're here too, because I know we've been messing each other on X back and forth about, you wanted to do you've been wanting to do a show about writing, and of course the schedules never lined up until now, and so here we are. He'll be Nick. Here will be the special co-host for the night. So welcome, Nick, to Let's Talk About It.
There you go. Hopefully, I'm a good fill-in. Yeah, I'll do my best.
Well, that's all we can do, right? Our best. So I hope everyone's had a good week. I hope you guys have picked up a lot of good comic books. I hope you guys are reading comic books, because that's the whole point of this show, is to, read and talk about comic books. So Nick, I usually ask this to Kyle, but since he's not here, since you're my temporary co-host for the night, did you read anything interesting this week by chance?
Not this week. I haven't read anything interesting this week. I have been just the last few months, I've been working my regular job, coming home and working on the comic book and promoting the comic book and building websites and everything. I will say, though, I caught some of that. It's on Netflix. It's the Ed Gein story, Monster something.
Oh, yeah. I've been seeing that on my feed. Is that any good?
Boy, that's messed up. I kind of came in the middle. Someone else was watching it, and I decided to sit in for an episode. It's messed up, I'll tell you. It's really interesting. And they come back and forth between Ed Gein and then Hitchcock, because he made Psycho based on Ed Gein, I think. Gein.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so... yeah, but it goes back and forth in the timeline. It's kind of interesting, and it's messed up. So
perfect. I imagine. I mean, everyone knows the story of, at least enthusiasts of true crime like myself know the story of Ed Gein. Ed Gein? I mean, I
think it's Gein. I don't know, man.
Yeah. But it is a messed up story, dude. Seriously, like, it's just one of those stories. You're like, how can someone like do that? But then, of course, when you look at the history of how he was brought up by his mother, and you realize how much she messed him up, it's kind of like, yeah, I guess that kind of, in some warped, twisted way, makes sense.
Yeah,
in some weird way, that's why not just him, but also all the serial killers of history, when you find out their psychological profiles, that they really came from messed up upbringings, like households.
Yeah, a lot of the time, and they just never learned coping skills, and then things happen to them, and they don't know how to deal with it, and it turns into something horrific.
Absolutely. And
Gein, tomato.
Tomato. So, well, okay. Well, if you haven't read anything recently, is there anything that you've read? Not this week, but yeah, recently that I
As
should say.
far as like newer stuff that's being released, no, not really. I've been kind of building up a collection of older stuff.
Okay.
I recently read through all of Invincible. I have all of
What
the
you think?
omnibuses. I think it's really interesting. Actually, I'm not quite finished, but I think it's
Okay.
really interesting. I like how Kirkman goes into these like moral questions with that character. Is it okay to sacrifice people now for later to benefit people later? That whole kind of thing
Interesting.
happened with the dinosaur character. Some of the names are so ridiculous, I forget them, but
Yeah.
his naming conventions are funny.
Yeah.
But
The standout book at the time for sure.
Oh yeah. What about you? Have you read anything?
Yeah, I've been reading Absolute Batman, which is a fantastic series. I haven't read the last issue yet. I haven't had a chance to. But I've been really digging that series. Battle Beast is another one that I've been reading. That's really good. And I think that's it. That's pretty much it. Just like you, I've been busy with the campaign, busy with trying to get other stuff off the ground, and shifting around. Of the coming change. Once again, another shift in the indie comic book sphere. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Indiegogo has just updated their terms of services. And now they're not playing no more, guys. It's pretty much like set in stone that now they're going to be a lot more stricter as to who they allow on their platform. Now, if you're not fulfilling at the time you say you're going to fulfill, they're going to penalize you, or they're not going to allow you to open up in their account or let you launch another campaign until you fulfill that campaign. So I can see a lot of indie creators who are late, like for instance, like Ethan Van Sciver, for instance, is one example. Hey, I'm not saying his name to call it out. I'm just saying he's notorious for that. He's known for that, and he's known to to
just start the next campaign.
Start the next campaign, and that's fine. If he has his backers, he has his supporters. Hey, great, good for him. More power to him. If he has his supporters who will always back him, and that's pretty much what I want. I'm sure that's what you want, to have these loyal supporters who will back you no matter what. But now I'm wondering, and I'm curious to see what he's going to do now that Indiegogo is going to update their terms of services. And I wonder if he's going to be grandfathered in to still fulfill it the way he has, or if they're just going to cut him off. It'd be interesting to see what's gonna happen.
I doubt there's going to be any grandfathering in. Their policy changed. The policy changed. I think that maybe as far as his old campaigns, they might let that slide. But if his next campaign goes unfulfilled, and then he comes in with the one after that, they won't let him launch. That's what I think. I haven't seen, I haven't read everything on it, but from what I've seen, that's what it seems like.
Shadow really interesting. It is. Yeah, it is. And again, it's just one of those things that happens. It was bound to happen sooner or later, because that was the main thing that, I guess, in a lot of ways, it could have been a great thing that we still had, right? The whole idea of like, you're late, but as long as you keep your backers, informed about the tardiness or informed about the delay, then you typically they would give you some grace. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. My last Indiegogo campaign, which was Vigilant Fury, was late. It was a year late, and that's because the artist Anthony Gambino, he, in the middle of the book, or a third of the book, decided to change his art style, and so he had to redraw the first 20 something pages of the book in the new style that he approached, which was the ink wash style. And
that's wild.
It was, dude. It was a huge risk, because I was afraid that, oh my god, people are going to ask for the refunds. We're going to lose a whole bunch of money. But thankfully, they stuck by us. No one asked for the refund, and they just waited until we finished the book, and we did. We finished it and we fulfilled it, and it was great. So
you kept them updated.
And they kept them updated. Exactly. I
I didn't, be like an a-hole about it or anything like that. I just like, I'm sorry, guys. It's just, when the artist comes to you and says, I'm not having fun doing it this way, but I am having fun doing it this way, what do you do, right? What do you do? Do you say,
Oh, yeah.
oh no, we got to keep it the same, or let your artist breathe, let your artist have some fun, so that way they can have fun around your book?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that a lot of writers, creators like myself and you, we have to always, I guess, play it safe, but we have to adjust according to the personality of the people we're working with.
Oh yeah, everything's I always put it as it's a dance.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a top down dictatorship. It's, hey,
Right.
I'm thinking of doing it this way. Like, what do you think? Or here, do this, and then they try something, and then you go, oh well, what about this? And then they try something. You're like, oh, actually, that's way cool. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a dance. Mm-hmm.
That's the key to a great collaboration between writer and artist, for sure.
Oh yeah, and they do the same thing as far as like the editor and the person doing the score in film. It's the same thing. It's a dance. It's a back and forth.
Right.
Steven Spielberg on E.T. He sent it out, and John Williams. I'm pretty sure I have that right. I've been horrible with names.
John Williams is right. That's his name.
Yeah. He sent it to him, and he did the score, and then he sent it back, and he edited it again, and then he sent it back, and he did the score, and it was this back and forth a few times, and that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. But yeah, so I think that's a bold choice. But if it made the book better, it made the book better, and if people were okay with it, then they were okay with it.
But, I did have a few backers reach out to me and say, hey, what's going on with this? And then I told them, okay, I explained to them, here's what happened, here's what we're going to do. And the good thing is 100% of the time, they were actually more excited that they were getting a book that was going to be pumped with this ink wash style instead of the harsh black and whites, which was the original creative choice that we're going to go with, which was we're going to try to get captured that Frank Miller Sin City hard black and white style that he did. And Gambino was not having fun doing that.
Yeah, he wanted more detail, less contrast.
He wanted, that's what he wanted. And it did help the book a lot. In my opinion, it did.
Oh yeah. You got to do that. I think when there's an opportunity to make it better, even if it's going to take longer, what are you going to put out a product that's not as good?
Exactly to
hit a deadline. But
exactly right.
You do want to try and hit deadlines as best you can. But quality, I'm almost a perfectionist though, so it's hard for me to want to hit a deadline instead of make it better.
Yeah, right. Shadowpunk says one more reason to use FMC, right? Yeah, I've been flirting with the idea of using Fund My Comic because it's a platform that's strictly for comic books, and I like that. I like that idea because Indiegogo and Kickstarter are not just for comic books; they're for other things too, and they're actually prefer that you use it for that, not just comic books. Like ideas for innovative piece of technology or a patent or whatever. So, I've been thinking about it, Shadowpunk. I might do it for my next campaign that I do have in the works. Cole King says GameFound is going to make IGG just like it, but for non-board game related projects. Girlfriend is a really great. GameFound is a really great platform for creators and backers. So I'm excited to see what they do with. Okay, cool. I never heard of GameFound. Have you heard of GameFound, Nick?
No, I haven't. I've seen some stuff recently about it from a fellow creator named Zach Chapman, who's doing Dino Nights that just launched. He's been posting about it, but it's just tertiary knowledge. I know nothing about it. I haven't heard of it. Okay. Cole King, I don't know.
Interesting. So that's the biggest news there that came out, because again, I'd be curious to see what EVS, not just EVS, there's a lot of creators that are late with some of their books. I'm wondering what's going to happen after the 15th or the 16th, whatever day it was, when it changes. If they're going to if they're going to like come down and say, okay, hey, we noticed that you're 3 years late, so what's going on here?
Yeah, I think one thing's for sure, they're gonna give later deadlines for their next campaign.
Yeah, I would imagine they should,
Oh,
considering that. I mean, and granted, you know, I'm a look, just for the record, I like EBS's art. I was a big fan of Skyver's art.
Yeah.
I bought his new X-Men books when he drew them. I bought Green Lantern, Flash. He was one of my favorites. So the fact that he, you know, takes his time to draw his Cyberfrog book for the sake of having this high quality art, I say if that's the case, then go for it. But you got to give yourself more time so that way your backers can know, okay, well, if I'm gonna wait 4 years for this book, then I guess I'll wait 4 years. And they've already said publicly that they will always wait for his book. So as long as he has that, it's all good for me.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, man, like if he's transparent about it, and maybe he just, and like I'll be honest, I'm new to like the whole Comicsgate drama. I don't know much about it. I knew tertiary stuff about it from different YouTubers and stuff like that.
Right.
Same with the Rippaverse stuff. I don't know a lot about it, but maybe just he needs to be a little more honest with himself, where he might say, oh, I'm amazing. I can do this really fast and really well, and I'll get it done by this deadline, and I'll add more and more deadlines on top of it, and I'll be able to get all those done too. Like, I've done that to myself, and it just breaks me. And you know, he's
for sure,
and he's clearly not hitting the deadlines. So, you know, maybe just do less stuff and do it as good as you want it. And if you have to, man, like, charge more, because it is obviously like, it's really high end art. Like, I haven't read the story, so I have no idea about that. But the art is like phenomenal. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I read his first one. I think it was Blood Honey or Wrecked Planet. I can't remember which of the two that I read. And my only complaint really was the story was a bit too bleak to my liking. But it was still good. It was still pretty good, and the art, of course, was phenomenal. I just wish he would have done it as an oversized book, because you really can't appreciate all that detail in a standardized comic book size.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
You know,
that's interesting. Yeah. You're going to go in, he's going to go and do all that work and take all this time and not hit deadlines to do all this detail. And then you can't even appreciate the detail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's, I wish it would have been oversized. If it was oversized, I think I would have had a much more deeper appreciation to actually look at his art, because I've always liked looking at his art. Like I said, when he was a professional at DC and Marvel, when he worked for those two publishers, I always took my time reading his books because I just loved looking at his art. So I would read the story first, and then when I reread it again, I would take my time to actually pay attention to not just the art for the sake of the skill, but more of like, why did he choose this facial expression? Why did he choose this angle? That kind of stuff, that kind of breakdown when I would reread it. Osgood Comics says, for a first time comic creator who isn't a name, quote unquote, his Kickstarter better than Fund My Comic. It depends, man. It depends on. I'm sorry, I don't assume if you're a man or a woman, but I'll just Osgood.
Oh, this is Frank. Yeah, he.
Oh, it's Frank. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we know each other a little bit.
So either or, dude. Either or, honestly. It really depends. It really depends on how you apply yourself. Like, for instance, like my campaign didn't fund, and that's because I didn't push myself hard enough to get on more shows, more live streams. And that's not without trying. I did reach out to a lot of people, and maybe out of the 10 that I reached out to, maybe 3 responded back to me. I see, like, oh yeah, I have everything booked, or I have this day open, that kind of deal. But the rest, they just didn't even answer me at all. So I was like, all right, that's cool. And also, you know, real life stuff happens. And that's what happened with me this month. It was just a bunch of stuff that just got in the way that I couldn't apply myself the way I wanted to for this 30 days. But honestly, it's just a matter of how much you put yourself out there in terms of promoting and marketing your book. So if you're a no name, quote unquote, if you put out a good product, if you offer a good product, meaning the artwork is good, the story sounds solid, and you put yourself out there, meaning you come on a show like this, or you come on other shows, whatever podcasts that kind of align with the themes or the genre of your book, you could do pretty well for yourself. It just depends on how high of a level or goal you want to, hit when you fund your book. So that's so it, again, depends all on you.
Yeah, and I'll say as well, I thought, Kickstarter has a base,
Yes.
has a lot
Yes,
of people in there. Yeah, already reading comic books, and they're one of the bigger ones, I think, as far as the mainstream crowdfunders, that they have a bigger audience. But once I really got in and dug into campaigns that were doing well, and so this did not. Frank, I've seen some of your comics, so I think you don't fall into this category of super sexualized stuff. That stuff does so well on Kickstarter. It's insane.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And mine is not
is.
like that at all, man. Not even a little bit. And I don't want to make it like that. But so I think Fund My Comic, as far as I'm concerned, and I haven't explored a lot, but it's not as infested with that as Kickstarter is.
Right.
And so, maybe Fund My Comic would be a good option. Obviously, I'm on Kickstarter, and this is the only one I've done. So I can't speak to Fund My Comic too much, but just food for thought there. It's a little tough to break through the algorithm on Kickstarter, it seems like, when there's so much of this hyper-sexualized stuff on Kickstarter that just does so well.
And the algorithm always favors what's selling the most. So it's not like Kickstarter is this place where only that's the only thing that sells. It's just people buy it. People like sex. I mean, you can't help that, right? Men like sex. They like seeing sexy women on their covers, and that's fine. For me, there's a market for everything, right? You just got to find where
your market you have is going to fit. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So if you have a book that's kind of not that, you can still use Kickstarter. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Von Coleman has done a round on all three platforms, and he, his funded pretty well on Kickstarter. I believe was the first one he did. Now it's on Fund My Comic, and so you can do all of them if you want to. I would be transparent, about it,
of course,
with backers on Kickstarter. Especially if you're going to do anything exclusive, be like, oh, well, this is an exclusive cover for Kickstarter, but it's also going to be available on Fund My Comic, So
exactly.
That kind of
exactly. See, Cole King says Kickstarter will push your project and put it in front of more people better than IGG or FMC. If you hit your goal early and get a lot of traffic, they boost it even more. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just a matter of whether or not your campaign does really well, real fast, and of course, it'll push it through and put it up there with the hypersexualized books that are out there that are selling
it'll be up there among them, and
and
it will stand out. You might even do better than them.
Because, exactly.
Here's one that's not. This one's a little.
Well, an example is Mark Miller's new book, The Conquest or Conquered.
Yeah, there's that and Berserk. Ones like that are kind of tough to lump into the same category. Like his is probably doing well for other reasons, but
it's his name brand. That's why it's him, and also the artist. I forget his name, Valerio something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. It's a pro that's using the crowdfunding platform to fund a project that, I guess I'm assuming either he wanted to keep all the rights to himself, or then he want to give it to Dark Horse or Image.
Mm-hmm. That's likely what it is. He wanted to have freedom and a bigger piece of the pie as well.
Yes,
had to at least partially have been that.
And I think he's offering hardback books too.
That's cool, and it may be that stuff like that. I mean, sometimes as the writer hired out to someone, or you have a publisher doing it for you, you can't say, "I want a hardcover like this," and I want
right.
They are going to do what they're going to do, what they think is going to do best, and you have little control over the quality of the printing. If you I don't like how thin these pages are.
Right. No, you're right.
Probably don't have say in that. So
he's probably this is probably the opportunity. Well, the second opportunity, because I know he did one earlier this year with John Romita Jr. So he's got that going. So good for Mark Miller for getting ahead of it and realizing that it's the way to go. It's the way of the future.
Doing what Brandon
Gregor,
Sanderson did, starting out in traditional publishing and then moving to indie crowdfunding. That's the best formula, my man.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yo, Putos. Sorry I can't stay. I just want to say keep your head up, Julius. Hope you can get Ghetto Dragon out again soon, so I can buy it. Either way, I'll support you. Mel Seltzer. Oh, thank you, Krager. I appreciate that. Let's see, I saw someone else's here that I like. Here we go. Yeah, Cole King says, whatever you use, get started early, get a newsletter and sign up page going as soon as. Yeah, see, that was my mistake.
Yep.
This time around, I didn't do a sign up page because I wanted to get it out there as soon as possible before the holiday season, because I know usually the holiday season is kind of the toughest season to sell your book because everyone's out, shopping, buying
big
gifts for
time.
their families.
They don't have money. Yeah,
exactly.
They recover after January.
Exactly. Tax season, when tax season comes around. Yeah, when tax season comes around. So
good point.
I wanted to get out there, sooner than later, and so shame on me for not waited. I guess in hindsight, I should have waited. I should have waited until next year, or I should have done it earlier. It's just, again, real life gets in the way of things, and I don't have the luxury of doing this every day. Like I would like to do this every day if I could, honestly.
Boy, same here, man.
Yeah, I just
same
we
here.
don't.
It'd be fun.
Real life, got a family, got kids who need my attention. Of course, I want to give them my attention. I want to raise them and be there for them and everything. So it's tough coming home when I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go live today, and then my little girls are running up to me and they want to play, and it's like, well, all right, I guess I'll play with you guys. And then next thing I know, it's like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. Oh crap, I can't live stream anymore. But it's all right.
Yeah, that's sweet though.
Yeah, and of course, family should always be number one, of course, right?
Oh, I 100% agree with that. 100%. Mm-hmm.
So I realized, this past month, there's a lot of things that came to a lot of realization with this last campaign. I thought I would do okay with it, simply because it was the campaign where you didn't have to wait long for the book. The book was already ready to go printing. I just needed the funds, for that.
Mm-hmm. And
I was hoping that would have been enough, since that was the main complaint of all the backers who got burned in the past, which was, I backed this book thinking I would get it in a year, and it's 4 years into it and I haven't gotten anything yet. And so I thought that would be my advantage, but maybe I didn't put the word out there enough, that kind of deal. So again, it's
hard to know,
this whole month has been nothing but realizations and going, okay, I need to shift. I need to change my whole approach now, because the crowdfunding scene has shrunk tremendously, especially in the Indiegogo space, and it's all scattered around. So now I have to figure out where did everyone go, so how am I going to sell myself to this?
Everything's fractured as of recently.
Everything is fractured.
Yeah, yes. Like right after I even got into the space, because I just never really was super interested in comics. Like I said, I don't know much about it, but soon after I started promoting it and trying to get people on my X and chatting with people and getting into it. Boy, it fractured, and there's a lot of. I know there was drama prior, but now it's like infighting. It's really weird. Yeah,
it was interesting, because I saw it from the beginning. When I left Twitter after 2016 when Trump first got elected, and I remember I left because I was like, dude, everyone lost their freaking minds, and I bounced. I was like, I'm not gonna do this. It's too toxic. And then the reason why I came back on was because I was told by a colleague of mine that social media is the future, and if I don't have a good social media, I'm not gonna be able to sell my books. So then I said, okay, I'll just get back on. And when I came back on, that's when everything fractured the first time around, which was the whole culture war thing, the left versus the right, and Comicsgate versus SJWs. And that was going on. That was heated. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? What happened?
You're like, I was just trying to tell a good story that I thought.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this? Do I have to pick a side?
Yeah, exactly. And it reminded me, it reminded me of a little bit of high school, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a high
Interesting.
school drama of like, you can't talk to that group over there because they're a bunch of jerks. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I won't talk to that group over there.
If you
even though-
talk to them, you're a jerk too, man.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I was like, I don't know, I don't like this. I don't like this whole thing. I don't want to claim, Comicsgate, because I like some of the stuff that at the time anyway, DC and Marvel were releasing. So not all of it, but some of it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
And there were some things I
even if the
agreed
whole's
with.
Not great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it was one of those things where I was like, I'm just gonna be neutral, but
Right.
that didn't work out.
Yeah,
work out
being
at all.
neutral didn't work out.
No, neutral
Yeah,
does not work anymore. It's kind of sad because you kind of do have to pick a side a little bit.
yeah.
And so,
I don't know.
well, not pick a side.
I kind of go ahead.
You have like not pick a side. That was wrong for me to say. More like standing your ground on what you like and don't like.
Yeah. I've seen you standing your ground for story quality on Twitter, which is what I would prefer to do as well. I think that you can have like people go, oh man, look at all this woke stuff that sucks. Check mine out. It's
Right.
not woke. Look at this.
Right.
It's
Right.
great, right? It's not woke. And then you read it and you're like, I mean, sure, it's not woke, but it's also just as
Not
bad
great.
as that woke stuff. It's just as
Yes,
low
yes.
quality storytelling with hollow characters and like completely derivative characters that are nothing like and premises. What
Yeah,
And then
no, you
it's the same
100%.
thing.
You hit it right in the head, and that was the one thing that I did notice was that when some of the books started coming out, right? Some of the non-woke books from the Comicsgate side, not just Comicsgate side, but I guess the right wing side, if you want, for lack of a better
Rippaverse,
term. Yeah, Rippaverse, all that stuff, the non-woke books.
right.
Yeah, you're right. You got to read them. Like I read some of them. Like, what the hell is this, dude? Like, what is this?
Yeah, sure, it's not woke, but is there even a story happening?
Yeah,
Where's-
and
yeah.
not just the story, but
Mhm.
the dialogue is choppy. The execution of the story beats are off.
Yeah.
And some of the artwork was okay at best, not really the greatest.
Mhm.
And so then you quickly then I soon realized that it was a kind of a grift a little bit,
Yeah.
just a tad.
A
Just
little
tad.
bit. I think in a post I called them the opportunists. Is what I called them.
That's a good
post that-
term. That's a good
I've done
term.
that
Yeah.
post 2 or 3 times. It's just the same post, but it does well. So, when I launched the book, I was like, it's been a few months. Like, I'll do that same post again, but post my link at the end,
Right.
And
right.
and I think it got me a backer. Yeah, it got me a backer. But yeah, it's just about, we like stories matter and they're supposed to
Yes.
matter. And
Yes.
story is
Yes.
supposed to be more important than like whatever politics you think you should go against or be for or whatever. It's like the story and the characters need to be the focus and forget
Yes.
your politics 100%. That's what I think anyway.
No, that's a fair argument. For me, I don't mind it so much because I grew up, being politically aware. I used to watch
Mhm.
C-SPAN for fun as a kid, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah,
As a kid.
because politics fascinated me. I was like, what are all these
Yeah.
grown men
What
doing?
are these
Like,
guys talking about?
yeah, like it was the first Gulf War that got me interested in it. When
Okay.
when I first learned about war and what war is and how we go about it. And I remember as a kid thinking, why are we going to war against a country, another country? What happened?
Yeah.
And so
That's very
that-
interesting as a kid, to
oh,
really
dude,
have that
it-
realization.
it traumatized me. I'll be
Yeah.
real with you. It traumatized me because, my stepdad didn't help matters either because he told me, well, if we lose, they're gonna conquer us, and he did it to scare me, little punk. God rest his soul.
Mhm.
He did it because that's the way he was. He was just one of those jokesters.
Just joking
jokester
around with
types.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But me, I was like, oh my god, that freaked me out.
Right.
And ever since then, I was just fascinated with that. And so I don't
Right.
mind politics in my books. I never minded them. It's just that for me, it's keep it subtle and keep it in the background, because I
Right.
still want to know who this character is. I want you to entertain me with the story, which is why V for Vendetta was such a huge influence on me, because I thought that was as much as
Yeah.
the anarchy philosophy was there in the forefront in the book. Have you read V for Vendetta by chance?
No, I saw the movie.
Okay.
Which I don't know how much it varies, but the movie was really interesting. I liked that a lot.
I highly recommend you read the book when you get a chance
Mhm.
to.
Okay.
But that book, that story was heavily influential on me, because it was like, oh, okay, this is politics in stories done right,
Right.
because it's still focused on B, it's still focused on Evie, all the characters in the story. You
They're
still
the
were able
main focus, 100%. In
exactly.
the film, at least as far as I've seen in the film, yeah.
No, and they are, and what Alan Moore did was he did a great job weaving in his own personal like beliefs in politics and all that political beliefs and what have you into the story, but it wasn't the center of the story. It wasn't the center
Yeah.
focus.
I think a lot of it, you shouldn't be preaching. It should be
Yes,
like, let me pose a question, and maybe
there
I
you
don't
go.
even know the answer to this question. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And yeah,
absolutely.
when I say politics, keep your politics out of it. I mean, like, you probably have a lot of ideas, like as a person, not just you, but like, as a writer, you have a lot of ideas about how things might go, but you're not done, to use a quote from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You're not done you're a cookie and you're not done baking yet. So maybe, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe
For
you
sure.
shouldn't be going and preaching to people. Like maybe you haven't figured out what you really think yet. So maybe
Right.
pose questions instead and explore those questions and wonder what the answer might be and explore that in a story. And maybe you'll find the answer, or maybe like you'll find out that it was way more complicated than you thought. And
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
and also it forces you to think as well.
Yeah.
That's that's what I liked about comic books growing up, was that it made you ask questions and made you think about certain themes or the things that are introduced in the story that you read for that month.
Right.
Like that Captain America issue where he's shooting the Uzi. I don't know if you've seen that famous cover.
I'm
He's
sure
like,
I've skimmed it, but I remember more like a Daredevil using a gun being a big deal, and the
oh,
one with
there you go, there
Batman
you go.
as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember
Well,
those.
in that Captain America story, that it's one of the iconic covers where he's shooting Uzi,
Mm.
and the whole issue is him trying to find Flag Smasher. I think that was the villain, Flag Smasher.
Yeah,
And
I think that's at least,
okay,
that is a villain for sure. I don't know if it was the
yeah,
villain.
yeah, I think that was the villain of the month of that issue. And so Mark Grunwald, who was a writer of that issue, holds, I think he holds the record currently for the longest run. He wrote Captain America for like, I don't even know how many issues, but it was a long run. Well, anyways, the story was that Captain America was looking for the secret base of Flag Smasher's secret base. He finds it. He's trying to do it covertly, so that way the hostages don't get killed by his terrorist group. And he gets found, and before they one of them massacres the oh gosh, my mind went blank. The hostages. Captain America picked up the gun and shot the guy, and he didn't. He asked in the end of the issue. He felt bad about it, because it was one of those things where it was like, I haven't picked up a gun since the war, or actually since the war, and it was like a question posed of like, did I do the right thing? And
That's really interesting.
to save the hostages.
Yeah.
And
What a cool moral question to explore in a comic book with superheroes.
Yeah, it was a great issue.
Yeah.
It really was a great issue. And
That's really cool.
if you could find the trade, or if you find the issue itself, I know it's pretty pricey. It's a key issue now, so you're probably going to be looking at about maybe $25 to $30 raw if you find it raw somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most powerful issues of that I've read, Captain America, and I wish writing was like that today and
Yeah.
the writing's like that, not like that at all.
Well,
Because
that's why I really liked the Daredevil Netflix series, and I was really, and I'm not making it. Everyone, just hear me. I'm not making a career out of shitting on Marvel. Sorry if I swore I wasn't supposed to.
right.
But
right.
Daredevil Born Again was abysmal. And whatever you think, you can like it. I'm not trying to make you
Really?
not like a thing.
Really, huh? I haven't seen it.
I thought it was really bad. Me and my brother watched the Netflix Daredevil together, and when we put on Born Again, we got maybe 5 minutes in, and I was cackling, laughing, and then my brother just goes, "Bro, just turn it off." I just turn it
Really?
off. Yeah, it was that bad. And
Wow.
if you hear about the production of it, it was like they told the
Yeah.
writers, "Don't watch the original one. We want to separate from that. We're not that. Just don't even watch the Netflix one." It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, this isn't working," said the actors. I can't remember. They're off the top of my
I
head.
think
I'm not remembering.
Yeah, I read about that,
Mhm.
and then Kevin Feige saw, I guess, a rough of the first 3 episodes or something like that, and he was
That
like,
they had
"What?"
already shot a bunch of the
Yes.
series. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said, "Okay, we'll bring in someone else." So they brought in someone else who everyone's like, "These are the guys who actually care and know what they're talking about and watch the old ones." And it's like, man, they're grifting. They don't know anything. Like that stuff is almost worse than the other stuff. Like it's really bad. And like, again, guys, if you like
That's
it,
unfortunate.
like what you want. But in Daredevil, the Netflix series, there's Punisher and Daredevil on a Roof. Maybe you remember this if anyone's seen
Oh yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Some of the best stuff. And not even like, I know people like action, and trust me, I like action too. Sometimes I get numb to action, though. I'll be honest. I'll just stop paying attention.
Really?
Unless
Oh,
it's really grounded in some stakes that I care about. I care about these characters. I care about what's going to happen. Like, and Daredevil did that really well. But some shows, like, that's just action to be action, I'll just tune it out, and I'll be like, when are they going to start talking again? What is this? Like, this seems random. What's going on? But Daredevil had me sucked in, and it's because Daredevil and Punisher on a roof. I do things this way. Well, I do things this way, but we're both trying to get things done. And I like you kind of, but I also hate you. And the way that their moral worldviews clash, man, and I loved it. I loved it. It's really good.
Yeah,
And that's the way it should be. That's the way TV used to always be, and movies used to always be. And something changed. Don't know when, but it changed.
I think I can answer that question. A lot of pompous Ivy League writers came in, and a lot of them view comic books as trash media, and
I'm
like,
better than the thing I'm adapting.
It's like this. Do I have to? It's like that for them, for a lot of them. Not everyone.
I think you're right. I've heard that sentiment actually. I think
dude,
you may be right.
Hollywood writers do not like comic book fans. They hate them. They despise them.
I have heard that.
Yeah, because for them it's like we want to tell you the stories we want to tell you, when in reality it's like, well, you're dealing with a property or properties that have been around long before you.
Established things that you're adapting.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't take the thing you want to tell and then hang the superhero that you've been tasked with writing something for on the story you want to tell.
Exactly.
You
exactly. Know? And so I think that the Netflix Daredevil series, especially when they introduced Punisher, those writers more likely read the books, because that rooftop scene that you're talking about was actually an issue of the Punisher comic series, written by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. Steve Dillon was the artist of that series, and it's the exact same
thing.
Their
homework, man. They did their homework.
Because that scene was really effective. When I read that scene in the comic book, I was like, dude, that's hardcore. That Punisher tied up Daredevil, tied up a gun to his hand, and told him, "You want to stop me killing these guys? You kill me. You shoot me." And I was happy when I saw on the Netflix show. I was like, dude, awesome that they brought that, because that's such a powerful scene.
I love it. I'm mad that I keep forgetting people's names, but it's like something Dillard, something. He wrote a lot of Daredevil, and he also did a lot of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. And
wait, you're talking about Josh Wheaton?
No, Joss Whedon was the creator of Buffy, but this guy was just a writer on Buffy. So
Oh,
he likely learned from Joss Whedon, honestly.
gotcha.
I can't confirm that. I have my suspicions. I am so mad. It's something Dillard, I swear. Anyway, he wrote every episode of Daredevil. At least he's credited on every episode of Daredevil, the Netflix. And he has a new show that's come out that's pretty good. It's with the girl from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Called High Potential, and it's #1 on Hulu right now, their second season. And it's like really well written. It's not very well directed. So I'll just say that. Like Daredevil was perfect for him. It was so well directed and so well written. It was just the perfect storm, and it was just amazing. But it really shows in his writing that he understands structure and how to build up to things, and how to connect what's happening in an episode to what's going to be happening over the season, and what's happening over the season to build up to what's going to happen over the whole series, which happened in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Daredevil.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and that's gone. there's none of that in any of the Disney Star Wars, Disney Marvel. The only thing that not Rogue One, what I didn't see at season 2 of this, Andor. Season 1 was really well written in most regards.
I haven't seen Andor, but a lot of my friends always tell me to watch it, and I'm to be honest, I'm over Star Wars. I no longer care anymore.
Trust me, I and again, not trying to make a career off of. So many people have already made careers off of just crapping on Disney, and then they made their own stuff, and it wasn't that good. I'm sorry, so I'm just not going to do it, but. It does make me sad personally because I loved Star Wars and I loved Marvel, especially during Joss Whedon and Edgar Wright being in there. I talked about it on a stream I was doing yesterday with Telepathic Bunny, and man, it used to be so good, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Well, that's why I always say indie is the future, really, because I think the creative spirit right now is in indie, because Hollywood and these conglomerate media corporations, they're run by money men. They don't understand the art of, they don't understand how to balance art and commerce like old Hollywood used to. Old Hollywood producers understood the marriage between arts and commerce. And so I think that philosophy
was a dance.
It was a dance, exactly.
Yeah.
We got to give what the audience want, but at the same time, not give them a crappy quality, movie. We got to give them a solid story, whether it's romance, whether it's an action or crime, whatever. We got to deliver the best quality movie possible, and with obviously with the most talented writers, the most talented, DPs, the directors, and so on. So it was all across the board.
Yeah, and when you're in comics, it's again, all of the other roles. It's the best writers, the best pencilers, inkers, and colorists and letterers. You have to have all that,
and editors too. Don't forget editors.
Editors
played a pivotal role.
Yes, Jim Shooter was right.
Yeah,
just throw that out there really fast. But yeah,
no, he was. I'm in the
at least
same
in a lot of
school
regards.
Jim Shooter, because I think. And I get the hate. I really do. It's hard for writers and creatives to get dictation from someone like a Jim Shooter, but he had the perfect marriage of again arts and commerce. Like, I know talent when I see it, but at the same time I got a company to run. I got to make money for this company that I'm working for, and I think that's where a lot of indie creators fail a lot. Like, I'm guilty of it too, where we don't marry the business side of publishing. It's all about the creative endeavor, because it's what we do. It's what we're good at. We thrive to be the best creatively, and we ignore the business side of publishing. And that's shame on me, because I should have done my due diligence on the logistical side of publishing and how that works to get the return on investment. And so
I'll say maybe not shame, but accountability. How's that? You know,
Okay, I like
James
that.
a little
I
heavy.
like that.
Accountability, sure. Yeah, it's sad that your campaign didn't do as well as you were hoping, and it didn't fund. But I know, you know, I've seen your attitude. I don't think
Yeah.
you're gonna give up on it. I think you're gonna come through, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And
You know, I honestly, for full disclosure, when I sat down and came up with the game plan, right? I actually did write what I'm going to do if I fund, what I'm going to do if I don't. So I already came up with the pivot. So it's not a big deal. It's just more like I just wish, again, you know, life happens, and I got pulled away from the things that I could have done to promote my campaign further. And a lot of factors played out that, you know, may open my eyes to a lot of things. Like, for instance, the people who I reached out to who didn't get back to me, it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess the community side of indie comics is dead. I guess it's out of the Wild West, or maybe they don't like me, or maybe they don't like my book, or maybe it's not a right fit for their audience, which is fine. You know, that's fine with me. So now I have to start looking elsewhere. And I think another factor too is that X is all the comic book enthusiasts, I feel, left X, the majority of them. And there's a few left.
Maybe, yeah. A lot of the activists are left. I think there are some people here, and a lot of those people are are following me and comment on my stuff often, and I see them in my feed. But because I'm kind of new, right? I kind of came in right after a lot of people were leaving. But I don't know. Wherever you gotta be. And I don't really know where it is. I'm okay with X so far. There are a lot of comic people on here, but as far as I know, it used to be a lot more. I've seen that sentiment around. People
there
saying,
used to be a lot more.
People saying people read comics. They're just, none of them are on this app. And I'm like, that's interesting.
I would say most of them left.
Yeah.
Most of them left. Yeah. Because again, you know, X is a place where you have to have thick skin to be on X, honestly. And I don't mind being on X because I have thick skin. Right. So I don't mind.
Yeah. People came here because they wanted to chat about comic books. Yeah. And then they got the hell ripped out of them, like I did, by Ron Mars and all of his crazy followers. Sorry.
Oh, really? Did you?
Shout out to my best friend Ron Mars. We're best friends, best pals. No, it was about it was a post I did that was it was Writing Comes First was like the headline, and then I talked about how, hey, you know, and don't get me wrong, art is super important. It's like a back and forth. You have to have both of them, but writing happens first, yada yada. And everyone thought I was saying that writing is the most important, and people then started like taking words and putting them in my mouth, and I just got the hell ripped out of me. And I actually just would argue with these people. I'd be like, look, you're actually a terrible debater. Let me tell you what's happening. Like, hold on. And Ron Mars was one of them. And Ron Mars tried to debate me, and then he made a fool of himself and made himself look awful, because he said, because I was like, look, man, I get that you're saying this, but I need you to like substantiate this claim, because I'm not going to just take you saying it and then say, must be true, even if you work for the big two. And then he said, I know more than you because I've been doing this for 30 years. And he like, dude, like he looked so smug, and everyone started replying like, look, I'm a fan of Ron, but boy, is he coming off smug right now. And I'm like, yeah, he kind of is. And but I was just nice to him the whole time. I was like, hey, man, thanks for talking. You know, sorry you didn't want to finish the conversation, but, you know, thanks for talking to me as long as you did.
And that was my like a big realization about 10 years ago, is that most comic book writers are smug. They think they're better than everyone because they've been published by the big two.
Mm-hmm. And they've got the credentials. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like, well, I mean, I'll give you that. You have the credentials, but what have you done lately? That's you know, that's bringing up a storm. And lately I haven't heard anything about Ron Mars doing anything fantastic.
Yeah, no, you know? I haven't. His posts keep showing up in my feed. I don't follow him.
Yeah, Yeah, because
I'm-
he says
Yeah.
stuff. Well, of course, X's algorithm,
Yeah,
like
it's weird.
it's built for drama farming. That's what it's built for.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
the
you're right.
more outrageous you say things on X, the more you're going to get exposure because that's
Mm.
what it's built. That's the algorithm over
Yeah,
at
just
X.
if anyone's listening that saw that post and was mad at me, just letting you know, it's a dance. It's 50-50 at least between artist and writer. And let me just say this too. There are more artists involved in a comic book than there are writers, right?
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, sure, give them the art, sure, give them 75%. You know, say you got inker, penciler, colorist. Even though I only have two, I have my line artist and my colorist. We're on my team. They're not mine. I don't own them.
Yeah.
But
Right. Yeah, I got you. I got
you know,
you.
so give them 75% of the credit. Give me 25, sure. But, you know, it's like as far as the processes go, it's 50-50. If you have bad writing and amazing art, it's still a bad book. And it
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
flip, you know. So I do think people a lot of the time people have different tastes. So some people will put up with a bad story for good art. I think Hush, people keep saying, is the example of that.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the prime example of that. Jeff Loeb is one of the most overrated writers in history, honestly.
Right. Well, I think did he do the Hunter/Prey Superman book?
I don't know actually. I don't know.
I don't know if he did. Anyway, if he did, I really like that book at least. But yeah, and then the opposite. So you have people who say, "Oh, I'll put up with bad art if it's a really good story." And I think that the prime example of that people keep pointing to is One Punch Man. At least the early releases. Hey, thanks, Cole King. I think I don't want to. You know, he was nice enough to chat with me. He's nice enough to chat with me. Ron was nice enough to give me his opinion. So, but yeah, so people have their different tastes, but I do think that overall, if you have good writing and good art, then that's a good book. And then some people will put up with a bad book because it has one of those things that are good. So.
Yeah, I've reached the point where I forgive some like okay writing and also okay art as long as the experience is complete, and I'm fine with it at this point.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And I guess not everyone's like that, and I totally get that. Which is why, whenever I do work with any artist, I kind of let them have not free reign, but I let them have their I guess their fun, and I let the reader decide whether or not they like their creative choices, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can take that into the next project or in the next book,
or the next issue, the next chapter, whatever it is that you're doing to approach.
Yeah.
So, with that said, let's see, who was it that said it? Let me scroll up here real quick. It was a good question. It was Osgood Comics. I was wondering how long Nick Patch has been a fan of the Weird West or sci-fi Western mashup genre, which is a good segue to what you're working on and what you've been working on. Real quick, how did you get into comics, and what prompted you to want to produce the Western that you're currently have right now live on? Is it live on Kickstarter right now, or is it pre-launch?
It's currently live.
It's currently live. Okay.
Yeah, and really fast, just throw it to you. You should pre-launch for as long as you possibly can. Zach Chapman taught me that on Comic Tropes stream.
Okay.
For sure, 100%. I think that the followers on my Kickstarter converted at something like 20% or something like that. So, you know, if you have 100 people following it because you've had it out there and you've been promoting it steadily, not bombarding, you know, you have 100 people following it, boom, you got 20 people in the backing you in the first week or so. So,
yep. Like I said, my mistake.
No, it's good. And I've made some mistakes too, and I'm learning, and I'm really excited to, first off, I think this is going to fund. I set a low goal because, hey, I've already spent all the money on the book. Like, I just want enough to be able to then print, so
Right.
yeah, I don't want to set my goal at $100 and then, wow, to print 10 books, it's going to cost 200.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't have enough copies printing. So, but anyway, as far as when I got into comics, I lived in an area, and I still live here, no comic book shop in sight. Not one. I have to drive like an hour or more to go to a comic book store. And so when I was it was awful. So when I was younger, I used to hear about comic books. My grandpa would tell me stories about comic books, because I guess they used to have them out here when he was younger, back when they were still in dime stores. They were actually they weren't just sequestered to comic book stores. And and then my stepdad, he told me stories about comic books, and his dad had a comic book collection. Sadly, along with my uncle's collection, packaged collection of like every Star Wars action figure ever.
Okay, nice.
Got consumed in a house fire. All of it.
No way.
Tragic. I know. And I never even got to see the action figures. But the comic books I got to peruse. Yeah. But all gone. Very sad. More stuff than just that, family photos, things like that. And that's even worse. But for all of you guys out there who, have no ties to the family, you can take the tragedy of the comic books and the Star Wars action figures being gone. Very sad. But so I heard stories of comic books, read maybe one or two, because they were old. I wasn't getting into my my stepdad's dad's collection. They were old. They're not letting me just flip through them. But I remember I was 13, maybe. I was in junior high, and we had comic book stores in a couple hours away, or an hour and a half away. And my grandpa was going to take me, and it happened to be career day at school that day, and someone who was there was a comic book artist, and he gave everyone a free comic book that he had done. It was one of his indie works that he had done.
Okay.
I wish I remembered his name and still had that comic book, but I don't. But that was my first comic book. And then I went that day with my grandpa after school into the comic book store and got a bunch of Hulk. This probably the experience for a lot of people when you first started out. I was a little bit later because I didn't have any comic book stores around me, but this looks interesting. Look at this Hulk book. Oh, yeah, okay, Incredible Hulk. Let's grab all these. I'm sure that it'll work out. And then none of them are in order. Like they're missing issues. This one I thought was number 1, and then number 2. Oh, that's actually Hulk, and then Incredible Hulk number 2. So this doesn't work. These are separate stories. It was right when Red Hulk was happening, and World War Hulk. I think those were.
All right. Gotcha.
And so I got some of those and try to fill in the blanks later. I wasn't always able to go out on drives. My parent, what? Yeah, sure, kid, let's go. Just go waste some money at the comic book store. You don't have any money. We'll waste the gas and my time, and we'll go to the comic book store an hour away and get you some stuff. So it didn't happen very often. But mycomicshop.com was kind of newer, I think, at the time. But I was able to get, get me this for Christmas. It's 90 issues of Iron Man with Sean Chen drawing it. Let me get that. And so a lot of the stuff I read was older stuff that I could get cheaper, 90s stuff, because obviously we all know the story of why 90s stuff is cheap now. So I could pretty easily put together full runs of comic books, which was perfect because I was in it to read stories. I mean, collecting's fun. But I really wanted to read. So that Iron Man is like one of the first series that I read. And then also that the Hunter/Prey is one of the ones that one of the early ones for me. And I remember being in an airport, Portland airport. My uncle lived in Portland, and we were there waiting forever because our flight was delayed. So I went to the bookstore and I got Rage of the Red Lanterns trade paperback. And so I read that as well. And I remember enjoying it. Probably looking back, I might say maybe it could have been better. I don't know. But, you know, taste change. But so that's how I got into comic books. And after that, once I got my own job at 16, didn't have bills to pay with any of the money. And all went into comic books, like every dime, collectibles, you know, J. Scott Campbell covers, Scotty Young covers, new stuff. I got the subscriptions for every Marvel Now book that was out there.
Okay, nice.
And very sad, because the only really good one was Spectacular Spider-Man. If I think that's Superior Spider-Man, sorry.
Oh, Superior, okay.
That was like the best one of the time, I think. And then I had, which is why I wanted to bring it up earlier when you were talking about reading Absolute Batman. I'm so sad that I haven't had the time, and obviously a lot of money's going into this and going into the next one. So I'm saving my pennies, pinching them. So I haven't gotten the Absolute stuff, but man, Snyder and Greg Capullo was awesome, especially early on in that run. I hear it kind of got weird later.
Wait, are you talking about Absolute Batman?
No. Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder did New 52. I kind of skipped over that. I was talking about Marvel Now. New 52 is the same time. But yeah, so I got that on a subscription, and I was reading that every time it came in the mail. And I thought it was monthly, but it was like bi-monthly, I think. It was twice a month.
Okay.
And so I'd just be like, wait a second. I shouldn't have this already. What's going on? At least Spider-Man was like that. So I really got into those, and kind of just, you know, really that's when I started collecting stuff. And I remember a coworker of mine, his stepson was into like superheroes and wanted comic books and stuff. And I thought, oh, you know what? I've read these multiple times. I'm going to give him that Iron Man run from the night. Sean Chen. Let's gift it to this kid. And turns out that he would cut out pictures out of the comic books and then hang them on his wall. Stuff that he really liked.
Oh no!
And boy, did that break my heart, man. Boy, did that break my heart. Ouch.
You know, but you know, some people don't care about that thing. I mean, the enthusiasts do. Obviously, you and I, right now, when you just said that, I was like, oh gosh, oh no. But
oh yeah, it hurts, man.
Yeah, it does hurt. But hey, if you I used to have a lot of stuff on my walls. I used to do that same thing too, but I would buy 2 copies. So I would buy one and keep it, and then the other one I would cut up and put it on my journal or put it in my folder for school. Show it off to my friends. Oh, where'd you get that cool, Punisher image? Oh, I got it from a comic book and that kind of stuff. So,
well, my grandpa's stories about comic books were, we used to, one person would buy it and then we'd all pass it around. And then when we were done reading it, we'd put it up and throw darts at it. What? What are you talking about?
Oh, really?
No wonder Action Comics #1 is so expensive nowadays, Like, no wonder, man. That's what they used to do. Same with baseball cards, Man, what a crazy world. This isn't worth anything. It's junk after you read it.
Yeah, it's junk stuff. Yeah, whatever.
After you read it, it's junk. Which is wild for me to think about. I'm sure everyone is cringing at thinking about Action Comics #1 getting darts thrown at it and getting passed around and read 8 times.
Yep, it reminds me of that Venture Brothers episode where they're doing that to the Marvel comics.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch that episode?
Seen that show in too long. It's been a while, but I love that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that episode.
Yeah, they actually have. It's so funny to see that. Like, they actually had better writing than a lot of stuff that they were making fun of. You know what I mean? Like, they're parodying. That's a hard word to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they're parodying superhero stuff and spy stuff, and honestly some of the writing they had was better. Some of it, not all of it, but some of it's just fun.
I think for the most part that's what they're doing. They're just having fun. They're like, we're just gonna have a lot of fun making fun of these genres, you know, and
Yeah.
doing some wild stuff with it.
Yeah.
And I thought it worked. I still believe it's works. It's one of my favorite shows. I rewatch it. You know, I try to rewatch it once a year.
Oh, really? That's one of that, man. That's a good
it's so
show.
well written. It's so funny. You know, it's so
Yeah.
funny and well written that it's the reason why. Well, as a personal rule, I always like to rewatch things that are well written so I can learn from it. So I can learn, okay, what beats did they use that made it work? That made this joke land the way it did, or the way that made the scene made me feel the way it did, that kind of thing. So
yeah, why did this payoff hit so hard? What was the setup that made that work? Was it set up multiple times? Did it build up to it? You know, there's all kinds of things you can learn. I agree. I rewatch stuff and reread stuff a lot. It's maybe too much.
I think that's the best way to learn, especially if you're serious about the craft. You know, obviously you're serious, I'm serious. There are a lot of people out there who are serious about trying to make it into in comics. The great thing about this day and age, is that, you know, 20, 30 years ago, the goal was to get published by Image or get picked up by Marvel or DC, and hopefully you get, you know, the notoriety that comes with the territory when you do write for comics. But nowadays, I mean, I think that's over. I think right now with your Kickstarter, you're already doing it. You're already putting your stuff out there. You don't need anyone to tell you we're going to publish this and put it out there for you. You're going to do it yourself, and I think that's the best way to go going forward.
And even the people who got successful back in the day doing that, now they're doing their own Kickstarters.
Yeah, and that's a sign for me. I personally, this is my own personal opinion, I see that as a telltale sign that the money is leaving the big two. It's no longer what it was before.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, I don't know as much about who owns DC. Are they separate from Warner Brothers? Anyway, at least Marvel
Warner Media.
They're subsidized, and you know, they don't have to be successful. They can be a testing ground for what we're going to do in the movies. Or like Disney treats their movies in the first place is they're just advertisements for the parks. We make our money on the parks. And so now the comic books are advertisements for their parks. Yeah. So they don't have to be successful.
Right.
You know, and that's just sad. It's like, man, storytelling is it's an art and a craft, and it used to be appreciated. It still is by a lot of people appreciated, but not by the people with the money funding these things, you know.
Right.
They're like, put it out. I don't know. We need a book. We need like 20 books. Just do it. Whatever. Disney's telling us to do it. You know, like.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't. There's no care for the quality of stories that they put out there, and it shows. It shows when you, not just for me, but like my co-host who normally is here, he reads a lot of new stuff, and when I first found out that he read comics, he was just buying stuff randomly every month at the shop. He didn't know what to get. He didn't know anything about anybody. He didn't know any names, nothing. It was just, he just went to the shop and kind of, okay, this looks pretty cool. Oh, this looks pretty cool. So he just started picking out stuff. And whenever I would ask him, hey, what'd you think of this issue that you picked up? And he always said, it was okay. Every time it was okay. And that's a death nail for anything that goes out. When you say it's okay, that means that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign at all.
It needs to be, man, it was awesome. I can't wait to read the next one.
Exactly. Yeah. He never gave that off at all until I started telling him, oh, well, how about you try this, pick this one up, You know, a lot of it was old books that I read growing up. And when he started reading more of those books from the 80s and 90s, specifically Miracle Man, he was able to get a hold of Miracle Man.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, dude, night and day. Comics used to be written like this. And I was like, oh yeah. Every month was like that. He's like, dude, it's like, it's not like that at all. Like I leave going like, after like 3 or 4 issues, I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop this one. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And
let me throw something at you real quick. What do you think about this? Do you think it's similar to how video games have kind of gone? So like Nintendo, they had incredible limitations. They had to, man, we only have this much space on this thing. We can't make the biggest game ever, the longest thing. We can't do all of this stuff. So we have to really make sure that it is incredibly fun and incredibly entertaining every minute, and it has to be replayable and all of this stuff. So like it has to be really good. And now like whatever, dude, just make it, and we'll pay 1,000 slaves in a basement to make it look really cool, and then that'll be good enough. And you don't have to make the gameplay and the story and everything super engaging, because whatever, it's just guaranteed that if the graphics look good, it'll sell. And we have so much space, and you know what I mean. I feel like, do you think that kind of thing happened with comic books as well, where
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
now they just feel like, well, it's either well, it's going to sell anyway. These people are
Mhm.
buy everything no matter what, even if they hate it, because they just want to keep up, and they're so in deep now. It's just guaranteed
Yes.
sales. So
I
whatever.
I spoke to a comic shop owner in San Diego one time, and picked his brain. I asked him, "Hey, what's selling? What's selling? What are your customers enjoying and liking?" And he straight up just told me, honestly, they don't like anything. It's like the reaction I'm getting is, oh, it's okay. And he told me that he asked one of his big customers, the ones who buys like stacks of books every time they enter. And he asked him, "Hey, I keep asking you how you like it. I think it was X-Men or X-Force that he was buying." And he asked him, "Well, how you liking this story?" He's like, "Yeah, it's all right." And so he just finally just asked him, "Why do you keep buying it if it's just all right?" And he's like, "Oh, well, because I'm just used to it. Just used to, I'm a fan I'm a fan, so I just buy it just because."
Yeah, that's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now it's like, why are you guys watching these shows on Disney Plus still? I just love Star Wars so much.
Mhm. They don't
Yeah,
care.
it was
And you know
okay.
what? And that's fine. And I think I think, like you said earlier, they're Disney and the big conglomerates, they don't care. They're like, well, as long as we have them, that's fine with us, because like you said, they're
Yeah.
subsidized. So
And
they're
then
gonna
yep. Mhm. Those guys are going to go to our parks, and they're going to spend hundreds of dollars with them and their kids
exactly.
here, and so we don't need to make money on it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it, because that's one of the things I told my friends when I told them that I was done with Star Wars. And I told them, like, dude, honestly, I was ready to buy the toys. I was ready to go to the parks. I was ready for all of that. But the movies sucked. And so why am I going to give more money to a company that doesn't care about giving me a good product, a good movie product at that? And so,
Yeah, they're not even
they said,
selling me
okay.
anymore. They just take me for granted.
Yeah. And so,
Right.
and to be fair, I don't like to, make the huge announcement like at all. I just do it quietly. I've
Mhm.
always been that way. So if like right now I'm saying it because we're talking about it, but I'm not one of those types like, I hate Star Wars now, and they're never going to see a dime from me ever
Yeah.
again. It's like, no, I just stay quiet. I just stop,
Yeah.
and I'll discuss it because it's fair game. When you put something out there, and this includes indie creators too, which is why I'm always a proponent and a champion of reader feedback.
Right.
If you get into this business and can't handle reader feedback, negative reader feedback, then you're in the wrong business, because that's the whole point. That's why the letters page back in the day was such an important factor for the combo companies, because that was feedback. Readers will let you know, hey, I didn't really like where you took this character's direction. Like, why did you guys move it this direction? And if the more, it's all about weight scales, right? So I would imagine the editor in charge of reading the letters will probably tell the head editor, hey, I've noticed that a lot of readers are not liking the direction we took this character
Mhm.
in, so maybe we need to pivot.
Yeah, and then he
And
goes, well, but hey, man, like this is, swear it's going to pay off. Like they don't like it now, but it's all building up to this. And it's like, well, maybe we can find it in between there. Yeah. So you don't just do what the audience says, but take that feedback, and maybe, it's a dance
yeah, and
again.
then the audience will appreciate that, because then they're being heard at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
100%.
like you said, it's a dance, right? It's a dance.
Yeah, it's a dance
Something.
between the writer and the artist, and
Yes.
the artist and the writer and the audience, and them with the editor and with the person footing the bill. It's a dance all the time, and that's what gives us the best art. Every time, the best movies are always like that. It's never, yeah, they just let me do 100% whatever I wanted all the time. That's
Like,
never
no,
that's never the
no.
story you hear from the best movies, you know.
Unless you prove yourself to be competent. Like
Right,
I imagine,
Scorsese or
yeah,
you know,
Scorsese, Christopher Nolan, James Cameron, Spielberg, even though Spielberg's kind of
probably in
fell
the
off a
comic
bit.
space like Millar and Snyder,
Yeah,
and you know, there are a few people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few people that today that can do that and be like, yeah, they don't need anyone to tell them what to do. They know exactly what they're doing. So, and that's a good thing. You know, you want to reach that level as a writer, in my opinion.
Yeah, and once you've done the dance enough, I mean, you kind of just know you can
Yeah.
hit your marks. You know the rhythm. Yeah, you know you can
Exactly.
get it. Yeah.
Osgood Comics says, if you need to start your crowdfunding early and you don't have much finished art yet, what are the musts that you put on your pre-launch page on the first day?
Well, let me tell you, I'm an idiot. So I didn't realize that you could edit your pre-launch page after it's up. I had no idea. So this whole time that it's been up for months, and I just realized when I was like, I was like editing the campaign page, the official live campaign page, that I realized, oh wow, I could have edited the pre-launch page. Oh, so put up, you know, art. The stuff I had on mine was a black and white cover art, and then just text, and talking about it, getting you excited about it. My pre-launch, I don't know how I would even find it. I don't think I have screenshots of it, but it's pretty simple. Just one black and white cover, no color, and text. And I ended with 75 or 80 followers on mine, and I'm first time, you know. I'm not some of these other people who are on like their fifth or even more sometimes campaigns. So I feel like I did pretty well there with not much, and I could have edited it. So
Wow.
do whatever you got. Yeah, do whatever you got. When you get more, update it. That's what I would say, Frank. So,
well, there you go. There you go. That's good advice. So tell us a little bit about the story. What was it that prompted you to want to write a Western? Because I have noticed recently there's been an uptick of Western genre comic books coming up on the indie scene, not just Westerns, but also fantasy. I've been noticing a lot of that coming up, a lot of sci-fi stuff coming up. And even my co-host told me when he was at the LA Comic-Con this past weekend, he spoke to a lot of the vendors there, and they told him the same thing, that they've been noticing an uptick in those three genres. And I'm wondering if the superhero genre, I mean, of course, superhero genre is king when it comes to mainstream.
It's always going to be around.
It's always going to be king, right? But with the indie scene, is it safe to say that perhaps indie readers probably don't want that anymore? They're probably looking for something outside of the superhero genre, considering that it's so saturated nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, and I have friends who are doing the superhero thing, so, you know, not to shit on them, and I keep saying that word, but it's the easiest word to use. But yeah, they're doing it, and great for them. I think that a lot of people are done with it right now. Things kind of go in seasons. You see it now. The high school kids are wearing 90s clothes.
Oh, really?
Walking
wow.
around. Yeah, it's weird, man. They got their super baggy pants, and yeah, man, they're 90s all the way, and they've got their surfer dude necklaces walking around. It's wild. So things just kind of go in cycles. And I think that that's basically what we're seeing is, you know, superheroes have been king for so long, and they've been all that there is, and they've been saturated. Their parodies have been saturated. Their darker takes have been saturated. It's all been done. Their futuristic takes have it's all been done and done and done. And it's been a long time since we've seen these more grounded westerns, and take that as well, is the stakes. Well, the whole city's gonna burn to the ground, and this villain is gonna kill everyone here, or oh man, Thanos is gonna kill the entire world. Oh man, now it's the entire universe, and oh man, now it's the multiverse is gonna explode. Man, yeah. And people are sick of that. That's not tangible. You don't even understand what it means for half the universe to disappear. You have no idea. And Endgame didn't even touch on what it meant. Like, they hardly did. And any of the MCU post Endgame didn't touch on it either. And I don't know what the comics did with anything like that. But as far as the stakes, people want something more grounded and tangible that they can feel. And I think Westerns really get that, because it's one town. It's not, man, the whole of the United States or the whole world, and I mean, just take, the advent of the internet and social media and phones being in your pocket and everyone looking at what everyone else is doing in the world all the time. It's like, man, not only is the stakes in our movies gotten so high, but it kind of feels like the stakes in like our day-to-day has gotten a lot higher, but as well, again, it's untangible. You can't do anything about any of that stuff. Like, I think people would much rather see something more grounded, and I'd like that to happen. And I'd like it to give way to people really caring about the people around them instead of caring about what some dude in China's doing. Like, why don't we like focus on people around us immediately, like our family, like you're doing with your kids. Oftentimes we're going live streams to make sure your kids are taken care of and are getting the time with you that they need and that you want to have with them. And then focus on your community. Maybe you have neighbors that like are having a tough go. Like you see a yard that's like overgrown. How do you know like they're just lazy or maybe it's an old woman who just can't do it anymore and her husband's gone, and like, you could do that and you could be a hero on a small scale. But no one's interested in that. Everyone wants to be the hero on the biggest scale possible, the biggest scale that anyone's ever been a hero on ever before. I
wouldn't say hero. I would say anti-hero.
Everyone wants to be the anti-hero now.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah. Maybe.
The badass hero who's morally ambiguous.
Yeah. And you can do that too on a smaller scale. You can't just do everything on a big scale. But anti-heroes are interesting. A lot of the times, anti-heroes nowadays are just villains that you think that say they're doing it for a good reason, and the writer doesn't realize it's not a good reason.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. Anyway, so as far as why I started writing the Western, I had a dream 10 years ago with this guy, cowboy boots, everything, clearly a bounty hunter, walked into a convenience store and shot up a bunch of guys playing poker in the back, and then walked out and took some Cracker Jacks with him. And
that was your dream, huh?
Yeah, that was the dream I had. I woke up. Yeah, it was interesting. I woke up and I thought, I gotta write a movie about that. And so I wrote a movie. It was more modern. It's like he was a modern bounty hunter. Okay. And through iterations, I realized, man, like that's not where he belongs. He doesn't belong in nowadays. He belongs in the Old West. And I grew up watching a lot of that stuff. I grew up in a place where like I grew up riding horses and herding cattle and watching Lonesome Dove, and like I've actually like that's like my background almost. And so it just felt right to do later down the line. And a feature screenplay that's actually like the second half of this comic book series. I ended up writing multiple iterations of, but boy, no one's ever going to fund that, especially from some new guy. It's so expensive, dude. It would be so expensive. It'd be, I used to say, man, this is a $350 million movie. That was like 10 years ago, man. It's a billion-dollar movie to make almost. So no one's going to fund that, but it's a story I really wanted to tell, and I'm not going to let anything hold me back. And like when I was still in high school, I tried to pretend I wasn't in high school while I was doing it. I was trying to fund a comic book, and I wasn't the best writer yet. I was young, and I did it on Kickstarter, and it flopped big time. I had no idea how to promote. I had no idea how to do anything, or write even. But I had enough money to pay people to do it and to do the art and the color and all that. But it was not very well written. Just say that again. Poorly written, poorly promoted.
Hey, that's fair. I mean, I think anyone who starts out will write horribly at the beginning, unless you're a wonder kid, you know, or unless you're gifted. But for some of us who are not gifted and have to work a little harder, yeah, the first few attempts to write something will always come out terrible.
Right. And I think we're in a world where there's so many people and so many people trying to do what we're trying to do that, man, you can't just be gifted and you can't just work harder than everyone else. You kind of you almost need both of those things to really shine.
Yes.
And you can do something good still, and you can have an audience and you can make it, but you're not going to be Scorsese or Tarantino or Snyder and Greg Capullo. You're just not going to be those guys.
I'll disagree there, because those guys, they had the drive and they had the love for it, and the more they kept doing it, the better they got because of their drive. So if you have the same drive and love, like, you know, you do, I do, I think Ben Soto, who was here, he has it. Ray, who was here earlier, I think most people in the chat too, who are here listening and watching, you have that. If you have that love and drive, the more you do it, the better you'll get, because you want that's the goal, right? We want to be top. We want to be.
How about this? I'll amend that. You have to work to acquire gifts, and then continue to work twice as hard as everyone else, if you can. And so that's a good way of putting it, actually. But so this comic book failed, didn't do good. And I thought in my young, prideful mind, man, what is wrong with these people in this medium? Man, they just don't know. This is just not for me. This is the wrong media. I'm meant for something bigger than this. I'm going to do movies, man. And Dio, the Tome of Reckoning, is his comic book. He was on with Crenshaw when I was first launching my pre-launch and stuff with me, and he made a joke. And then when that doesn't work out, you start doing plays, and you and I just did. So, but I was really young, I was in high school, but everyone's prideful, I think, when they're young most of the time.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And so I turned away from it, and I would still read some stuff here and there, and I wasn't writing comic books though. I was writing scripts and directing short films and doing that kind of a thing. And I realized sometime into it, man, it was me. It was my fault. I thought, man, I can sit down and in 2 weeks write a screenplay, a full feature, and it's amazing, and that's just what I thought. And then you realize, oh man, maybe I could have put more work into this, and I could have learned more and all of that. And so I adjusted, and I've done stuff, a lot of stuff, gotten writing partners, worked on stuff together, got feature films that we're trying to get off the ground, get sold, whatever. But, that's not going away. But I thought at a certain point, and I was in the hospital for a while, a few days with mono, and they gave me antibiotics, which apparently makes it way worse, because they didn't know that it was mono. And they just kept pumping me with antibiotics. It was awful. Oh, God. So it's just getting worse and worse. Oh, and so it kind of woke me up, man, I kind of want to restart. I want to go again. And instead of, take a season of my life, you could call it 10 years is maybe a season of your life. Maybe we got 8 seasons or whatever. Instead of taking a season just bouncing between music and movies and comic books and plays and yada yada, maybe I just start again. And I spend a full season doing where I started, comic books. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. And I thought, man, Roy Beckwith and the Cursed Continent, no one's ever going to fund that as a movie. I could just do that as a comic book, and it would be awesome. And I could even have more freedom then. And let's just do that. And my brother was gracious. He's helping me fund the art and stuff like that.
Oh, and, great.
Great. Yeah, love my brother. He's my twin. we don't look alike. He got the height, I got the handsome looks. That's what I say. That's what I tell people anyway. I don't know if they believe me, but so yeah, and started doing it in maybe not maybe like February of this year. Really started taking it seriously. Gone on X. I was so against social media too. I was so against it.
Yeah, but it's the future, man. It's here.
You gotta have it. I don't know though. Again, I think things kind of go back and forth, right? Especially with AI. It's like you don't know what's real. And pretty soon it's only getting worse, man. It's like live person events is gonna come back in a big way. 100%.
I hope so. I just like today I saw this post of someone generating an AI thing of Michael Jackson and Kobe Bryant selling like a product, and I was like, what the hell is going on? What is it looked real, dude. I was like, flawless too. It looked legit. It looked like they're actually doing a live Instagram selling this product, this fake product.
Or there were those ones that were circulating of if Moses had social media. And carrying a camera. Hey guys, we just crossed the river.
Kind of like that. That was wild, dude. I was like, wild. Man, that's crazy. I
think it has a novelty to it, and like my mom likes those TikToks of the babies laughing, like it's like so dumb, but she likes those.
My wife loves the Bigfoot ones.
Oh, the Bigfoot ASMR stuff.
Yeah. Those.
I don't watch them. Like I've seen them in passing, and I've seen, what is this? Oh, it's AI doing ASMR. I guess it sounds kind of cool, and then I'll move on. I don't get I don't get into it. I know some people do, but I do think, yeah, man, it's I don't even have to mention the Stan Lee thing.
Oh yeah, Lightbot says, oh dude, it was when I attended LA Comic-Con just as a spectator, and when I got there, I met with my co-host Kyle, and he told me, oh yeah, the Stan Lee thing is over there if you want to check it out. I'm like, I'm not gonna see that, dude. That's I don't mind AI. AI is here. It's gonna stay here. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's the same thing that I felt like when Napster became a thing. You're downloading music for free. If you can't, once it's out, you can't put it back in the Pandora's box.
Genie's out of the bottle. Can't put it back.
Exactly. So it's here, and the company's adjusted, obviously, because now we have streaming, music streaming. But that was a line I couldn't cross. Like, I dude, just let the man rest in peace. Like, he did his part. I think
a little much.
Yeah, it was way much. I'm not gonna look at that, dude. It's just sad at this point. And I admire Stan Lee for that. He did do a lot for comics, for the industry. He was the champion of the medium. He believed in it, and I think he should be remembered for that. And I also believe that people like me and you who want to continue this thing, we should take a page from Stan Lee and learn how to sell and be excited for the product, right? Because that was what made Stan Lee so beloved, was that he was so enthusiastic about selling selling comic books,
Yeah, and I mean, they say like Ditko, and like Stan Lee didn't do the plotting and he just put dialogue on, but like, and that may be true, but boy, those books would not have sold without Stan Lee.
Yeah,
he knew how to sell, and it is a little different today. There are different techniques, and what Stan did back then may be seen as hokey now, but back then that's what it was, and he did it better than anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he should be remembered for that, and not have his grave spit on, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was so sad, and again, I just avoided it altogether. I didn't want to even look at that. And a quick little side story about Stan Lee. Another thing added a layer to respect from me, which was during the 70s, and I think the late 70s, early 80s, he would actually do college campus tours and convince art majors, hey, if you don't want to do advertising for a living, why don't you learn how to draw comic books? And you can make a whole bunch of money doing comic books.
Way more fun too.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to worry about, looking for jobs at ad agencies. And so he recruited a lot of, talented graphic designers, talented artists to work for Marvel. And I thought that was a great way to keep the industry lively and going. So, kudos to him for that. And so a lot of people that we should always remember positively who gave back to the industry after they they made their success and their riches off of it. And so yeah, we should definitely take a page from Stan Lee when it comes to selling our product. And again, that's something that I'm starting to realize. Like, for instance, that commercial I did for the Ghetto Dragon where I spliced the street fight with me falling and pitching my book. I had fun doing that, so I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do more of that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that one, because I've been looking through your page and stuff. That did pretty well as a post.
It did.
You can only lock and load that and shoot at one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again,
do other stuff like it, but you can't just reshare and reshare.
And that was the issue of going back to about the time and how the real life came into play. Because I already had written down like 5 little skits I was gonna do, and I was set to shoot, but then family party here, I had to take care of something over there, so it took away from all that. And of course, in hindsight being 2020, I should have done that long before the campaign.
Oh, so, there's stuff that I should have got a webcam. Sorry, everybody, you can't see my face. I should have done that. I should have done that months and months ago. I apologize, everybody.
Yeah. So again, you live and learn, right? That's the whole point. Mm-hmm. You live and learn, trial by fire, and so you just got to keep going, keep on trucking, and learn from your mistakes, and don't repeat them twice. And so, that's the kind of attitude I like to have when it comes to this kind of thing.
Agreed.
Without Stan Lee being such a hard ass back then, we wouldn't have DC or Image Comics. RIP. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Stan Lee was still a pretty tough guy when it came to like when he would look over the stuff they're going to publish. He made sure, like, no, change this, change that. It's got to be this, it's got to be that, and he did help a lot with that department. So he really did make Marvel, something special when he was running things, for sure, at the time.
Oh yeah, and crossovers, and it has to make sense. And like he was a big proponent of cross promoting the books. Obviously, he always introduced characters before they even had their own series in someone else's book, but did it in a way that made sense. A lot of the times, I feel like that's what Marvel's trying to do now, but it just flops and doesn't make any sense.
Right.
The Marvel movies are doing it. Tried to take a page out of his book, but didn't really read the page.
Exactly. Like that, exactly. Yeah, which was a shame, a real shame, because they could have made a whole bunch of money if they just simply, hey, like, we're going to do our own version, but we're going to pay tribute to the stuff that came before. And that's it. Yeah. That's all they could have done. Same thing with, going back to Star Wars. If Kathleen Kennedy just simply recognized everything that came before, Disney bought Star Wars, which was the novels, the comic books. If she had just simply sat down and go, okay, what are the high points of all the novels that came out and all the comic books that came out? And then we're going to take those and see if we can weave it into the stuff that I want to do for the movies. And that's it. She would have had $1 billion property.
What she wanted was to have a self-insert character, and and that's so sad. What happened in Star Wars is so sad. Okay, you're dredging up trauma. What are you doing here?
Oh, look. Everyone has their opinion. I have mine. You have yours, and everything was said already at this point. So I'm
it really was.
But like you, I was sad. I wanted to enjoy. I wanted to like Rey. I wanted to like Kylo Ren. I wanted to like Finn. I wanted to like those characters. But
Finn had so much potential, man. Just squandered.
I know, man.
Like a defected stormtrooper becomes a Jedi. Like, wow, that'd be what a story that would be.
Exactly. I was ready for it. I was like, all right, give it to me.
John Boyega gave it, dude. He gave a good performance too. A lot of the acting in that was good. I mean,
it was really good.
Again, everything's been said. Rey, not the best. A lot of other people, great performances. One of the worst characters, Kylo Ren, had the best, like some of the best acting, but it's just what are we
Yeah.
doing? He's freaking out, going back and forth and flip flopping,
Mhm.
and like the writing just made no sense.
Yeah, you could write a whole encyclopedia of what could have
People
gone right.
have, people have,
Yeah,
or I
exactly,
think
exactly.
video essays more so.
Video essays
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, so there's tons
Mahler,
of it out there.
yeah.
So I totally get it. I just wanted to vent a little bit about it because
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
does
Mhm.
touch
It's a
a
little
nerve.
cathartic. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard a
Uh,
lot of people talk about it and really break it down, but
Mm.
nobody I know personally really cared. So it's a little
Yeah.
cathartic to be able to talk about it a little bit with you.
Absolutely, and not crap on it totally. Just there's like I like Force Awakens. I still enjoy it. I still rewatch it sometimes because it was still
Yeah.
at least enjoyable.
Yeah,
And I
I
know
mean,
I
I
know I'm
think it
gonna
could've
make a
gone
lot of
somewhere.
enemies right now, but I still enjoy The Last Jedi. Honestly,
I enjoyed it
Same.
while I was watching it. I was in the theater with my stepdad, and obviously we all have our own opinion, and we can but and we'll move on from this after this. But I was in the theater with my stepdad watching the second one, Last Jedi, and the whole time I was watching it, I remember liking it, and then as soon as it was done, I sat there for a second, and I looked at my stepdad, and I said, "That movie was kind of a pile of shit," and he goes, "Yeah, it kind of was." Nothing really added up to a whole movie. None of it really did. I mean, there was cool
Right.
stuff happening on screen, enough to keep you entertained for an hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
But
I think-
I'm not gonna rewatch. I rewatched it to dissect it, but not joyfully. But yeah,
At
anyway,
100%.
you can like
100%.
what you like, though. Obviously, I'm not trying.
No,
Everyone
yeah, no,
out
of
there,
course,
if you
of
like
course.
it, it's fine. I'm happy you like it.
And that's the sad thing about this day and age is the the insult that came with people who actually did enjoy it or people who didn't enjoy it. And it's like, look, dude, like it's all subjective anyway. At the end of the day, the reason why you and I and the other hardcore fans crapped on it was because we wanted to feel Star Wars again. Not so much do exactly what we wanted, just more. We just want, like, me personally, I just wanted to feel it. So, The Mandalorian, the first season, the first second
3
season,
episodes for me. Yeah.
it was that. It was like, oh, this is Star Wars. This is Star Wars, and
Yeah.
no Jedi,
It's
no
funny
Sith,
because it's
no,
nothing like. Yeah, it doesn't check any of those boxes that they have to check
Exactly.
every time now. And they started
Exactly.
checking in that show. Like
Mhm.
has to be a lightsaber, has to be a force use. Like, the first 3 episodes, I will give it to you. Like, that was really good stuff. At least, like, but I don't think Filoni has like the long-term vision that George had. I think he can
Right.
do stuff that's interesting right now, but he has trouble like really doing what George did and making something bigger or over 3 movies even, or and that kind of thing. I know people don't like the prequels, a lot of people, but I grew up with them. I like them.
you,
I grew up with them.
you, and
I
my,
like them.
you and my co-host both.
Yeah, they're all right.
He and I are going to have a debate one episode because he defends the prequels and I crap on them. I just crap on them.
It'll be
because-
interesting. I can definitely crap on them too, but I have
Yeah.
a soft spot.
No,
Yeah.
understandable. That's we all have
Mhm.
that, right? We all have our childhood, things that we loved and we still love to this day, even though we know it's crap. Like, for instance, I love Howard the Duck, and I know it's a terrible movie. Like, I know it. I see it and I go, this is a crappy movie, but I still love it because it was one of those movies where I watched as a not too young. I was maybe 11 or 10 when I first watched it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got some duck boobs early.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sure did.
Yeah.
My dad was very, loosey goosey when it came to the movies. Let me watch certain movies. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of movies I saw that I should not have seen as a kid. Let me just
I watched
say that.
Gladiator when I was 5.
Woo!
Yeah.
Man.
Anyways,
Oof. Yeah.
yeah, all the
But-
Lord of the Rings movies too.
But
the first
I would say it like built the character within us because we got to see stuff that was like went over our head as a kid, but as we got older, it started clicking. When it's like, oh, and
Wow.
I feel like it
Yeah.
kind of helped a little bit in some way.
Yeah, wow, that's why that was very interesting to my dad
Exactly.
at the time.
Yeah.
They were just standing there talking. I was waiting for the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But-
Let's see. I think that. I mean, unless there's anything else you want to discuss or talk about, I think that pretty much sums up
Man,
the
I don't
show.
know. I like talking with you. I could go for a while, but I know you got you're not
Yeah,
going
no,
to do that.
I have dinner waiting for me, and usually the rule is Friday nights 2 hours max. That's the
Mhm.
rule. So
Yeah.
we're about to hit that 2 hour mark.
Yeah. Well, if we got a
But
few
but
minutes,
it didn't feel like 2 hours, to be honest with you.
yeah, honestly, it flew by. I hope
Yeah,
everyone watching was having a good time because I thought
yeah,
that was
yeah. I hope
really
so
fun.
too.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
As far as maybe just throw everyone to the Kickstarter real fast. Roy Beckwith and the Cursed Continent is a story about a cavalry veteran who did some horrible things to some natives during his time with the cavalry and ended up defecting. And I don't know if you call him a veteran after he defects, whatever. But he, yeah, I don't
AWOL.
know how it works. He went AWOL, and he became a bounty hunter and started drinking a lot. Whores, can I say that? He started doing a lot
Yeah.
of that, and opium, just
Oh,
drowning in all of that stuff, trying to forget
interesting.
the bad stuff he did. Yeah, but just kind of almost doubling down on that bad stuff by being a bounty hunter.
Interesting.
But yeah, one day someone comes for revenge in those first few pages. Someone who was a Yavapai boy, that's a Native American tribe, and he's coming back for revenge. We don't know why exactly, but he's after him, and Roy ends up shooting that guy's horse in the head. If you scroll down, you can see these pages.
Oh yeah, I saw that one earlier. I was like, hey, that's a pretty
Yeah.
good shot.
He shot him in the head, the horse, and he
There you
made
go.
it away, but had to ride out into the desert with an arrow in his own horse. So his horse ends up kicking the bucket, as they say, and just really sad to me because like I said, I grew up around horses, and I remember my grandpa's horse got struck by lightning one night. And it
What?
was,
Really?
oh yeah, dude. We were like, what? Got struck by lightning? Yeah, he got struck by lightning and he died. His name was Milk Toast. The horse, not my grandpa.
That's a good name.
Yeah,
Name.
Milk Toast. Yeah, and so it was sad. But anyway, so to see a horse die in the comic book is sad. But Roy ends up stranded in the desert, and someone comes up to him, rides up to him. Is this a good guy? Is this a bad guy? You have to read the issue. And there's a lot of stuff going on in Clay's Town with the Marshal Henry Harper. Seems to be well-intentioned until the last of the preview pages. You find out he's doing some stuff behind the scenes, some shady things. And someone's watching him. And he seems like he might let a prisoner out to help him deal with this person.
Okay.
So that's those first 7 preview pages. That's what you get. I didn't give anything away. Wow, how cool.
Oh, hey, that again, you're practicing your elevator pitch. That's another thing that that I'm terrible at. Like even to this day, I just can't do elevator pitches. I just get stuck every time. So I got to find a technique to get me out of that rut. Whenever okay, give me the pitch, go, and it's like, oh, like a deer in the headlights. I just go blank. And
you're
so
like,
I have to figure out.
Never mind. Yeah. Have a good day. Have a good day. Sorry to bother you.
Hey, what's up, Sean? Let me play a trailer. There's people watch the trailers.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'm about to hold your hand as we dive
Can you hear
into
it?
the Cursed Continent,
I can.
and I'll show you why
Okay.
Roy Beckwith is about to become the most well-known name in the history of weird Western comics. This battle-hardened gunslinger drowns in guilt and sin, desperate for redemption he's certain he does not deserve. When the Yazito Witch, a twisted victim, emerges to threaten the citizens of Claystown, Roy has a chance to make up for his past. Will he rise up to protect the defenseless, or let another town fall to the Cursed Continent's ancient horrors? Let me walk you through the first 7 pages of issue 1 and set the stage before the vengeful Yazito Witch rises from her unconsecrated grave. In 1876, Roy Beckwith flees through the dusty streets of Yuma, Arizona, regretting the violent path which led him here. A Yavapai warrior is hot on his tail, flinging arrows and promising revenge. Roy might be more prepared if only he'd refrained from smoking opium late into the night before. With a wounded horse and a guilty conscience, Roy can't bring himself to kill the Yavapai man and instead shoots his horse through the skull. As the Yavapai tumbles to the ground and his bow snaps, Roy regrets being forced to kill an innocent horse, knowing his own won't last long. As Roy rides off into the desert, the Yavapai swears he won't escape justice. It's not long before Roy's horse falls dead, and he is stranded in the hot desert, wishing that the Yavapai had killed him instead. Meanwhile, in the city of Claystown, Marshal Henry Harper argues with an inmate named Cletus, who's begging to be set free. They're interrupted by shouting in the streets. Cletus swears he can help, but Henry ignores him on the way out the door. Outside, Henry finds a boy named Trip dangling from a balcony as his sister Clara fears for his life down below. As Trip hangs on for dear life, Henry wheels over a handcart. Trip's friend helps Clara hold the cart steady while Henry gets Trip down from the balcony. Clara is angry, but relieved. As the boys run off, promising to stay out of trouble, a teenage boy smirks and watches from the shadows. Back in the desert, Roy can't decide what's worse, the heat or his withdrawals. He thinks back on the path which led him here, falling to his knees as birds circle overhead. Just as Roy resigns to his fate, someone rides up to find him. Roy can only hope this stranger is not another of his victims seeking revenge. Over in Claystown, under cover of night, Henry meets with the teenage boy Jacob. It seems Jacob used Trip as a distraction, allowing him to steal some mysterious items for Henry. As Jacob leaves with his cash, Henry notices someone watching from a distance. Someone who must be eliminated. Once in his office, Henry fetches the keys to Cletus's cell, asking if he was serious about helping him. Join us for this supernatural Western saga where every issue builds towards something bigger. The Yazito Witch is just the beginning, and this is your chance to get in on issue 1 of the epic 64-issue series. I've been planning this since 2023, and I'm collaborating with an incredible team. Jared Katz brings his gritty line work and unique character designs, while Fabi Marquez delivers gorgeous colors. We've got extremely limited edition variants by Todd Beats, Jason Sean Alexander, and Carrie Nord, plus a Kickstarter exclusive by Jarrett and Fabi. Pick your favorite or collect them all. Roy Beckwith faces the most difficult choices imaginable. Your choice is easy.
Boom.
Ooh, what a
Yeah,
trailer.
no, it's a long video. I could have done it shorter.
Yeah.
Could have dropped it down a little bit. Hindsight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, your next trailer should be a minute or a minute and a half at most.
Yeah, a little bit shorter. I liked the editing.
The editing was good. It actually was
yeah.
really good. I like the whole breakdown of the story and how the multiple stories that are going on in this book. So
Yeah, it's funny. I feel removed from it, so I feel like I can compliment it and criticize it. It's been a while since I did it, but yeah, thanks for playing it, man. Yeah, it's a big project, 64 issues, and that's all struck. Like, I didn't decide 64 issues, if that makes sense. The structure decided 64 issues.
Absolutely,
that might sound weird.
No, it doesn't sound weird at all. That happened to me when I worked on Vigilant Fury with Gambino. So originally, when I came up with the idea of Vigilant Fury, it was originally supposed to be 40 pages. That was the idea. And so when I started writing the script, 40 pages turned to 50. And then when I did another draft, 50 turned to 60. And then the more I kept working on it, ended up being 80 pages. And then I told Anthony, I said, look, you read the script, and if you can cut 30 pages from this, I won't stop you. And so he read it, and I was expecting, okay, we could get rid of this, we could get rid of that. And he came back to me and says, no, we can't cut this. It's gonna cheapen the experience. So we kept it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. Yeah, man. That's a big one. Boy,
it was I felt bad. I think in hindsight, being 2020 again, I probably should have just said, you know what, let's hold off on this and let's develop something more manageable. That's going to be not easier, but something where it could be like 35 pages or 40 something page one shot type of deal. So
yeah, something less hey, draw and never stop drawing.
It took out a lot from him. He really, by the end of it, he was like, dude, I just want to be done with this book. I just want to be done with it. And it was his first project too.
Oh wow. Oh, that's impressive that's a marathon.
That's he really did come through. Like he really did pull through and soldiered on. So he has my respect. And actually a friendship blossomed because of this collaboration. So, that's a plus. Now I could call him
that's one of the best things about it.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. Nick Patch, thank you for coming on the show and talking about comics and Indiegogo's terms of services changing and the landscape changing, as well as to how readers are kind of looking for something outside the superhero genre, and also, approach to writing style and craft. And hopefully, in that one-on-one interview that we're still going to have it, we could discuss more about the writing craft and the approach to writing. I think you and I will have a good conversation about that kind of thing.
I'd love to. That sounds like it'll. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I wish we had more time. We could get into like some more story structure and craft stuff. But it was great talking to you, and range of topics, did quite the weave. It was fun talking to you. Great to get to know you, man. Yeah,
likewise. So and again, thank you to the chat for joining the show and watching and listening, and thank you for interacting with us as well. We always encourage you guys to join in the conversation. We just don't want you to be spectators. We want you to actually join in, so that way, again, it's all about creating almost like a lounge, where we all can have a discussion and talk about, certain things and topics, and not be scared to insult anybody like that, if that makes sense. Because I'm born and raised in America, and I'm a big free speech proponent. So I'm all about just speak your mind, but don't disrespect. That's all I ask for with my guests and the people watching the show. So thank you for showing up, and thank you for joining the conversation. I'm always open to and invited for the show, which is why the show is called Let's Talk About It. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, join us in the next one. I know I always say this every time, but I'm getting close to creating more content for the channel, and I do want to create more content for the channel. I want to do more interviews, like right now with Nick, with other writers, because I'm always curious to know how other writers approach their craft and how they approach their storytelling. It's always fascinating for me to just hear what other people do with that. And so you'll be seeing a lot more of that coming up. And also, don't forget, most important part, read more comic books and enjoy them as much as you can. But hey, I understand sometimes you pay for a comic book and it's a turd sandwich. Let it be known too. It's okay to let your opinions be known, so that way the writers and artists can know what's working and what's not working that they're doing. And I always invite that for my own stuff. I hope you guys do read my stuff. If you do get a chance to get a hold of it, be it on Webtoons or Global Comics, whatever, and let me know what you think. I'm always open to hear you guys what you have to say about it, because how else will I know if you don't tell me? How else will I grow and get better if you guys don't let me know if I'm any good or not with the stories I'm telling you? So I don't know, Nick, are you in that same boat, or are you thin-skinned?
Oh no, I am not thin-skinned. I'm thick-skinned. I had to develop that as you
Right.
heard my story. I actually probably will hurt my own feelings more than anyone else will, just so that because I'm trying to be better. But yeah, and it's interesting you say, you tell people, because if I served you a turd sandwich at a restaurant, I would like to know, especially if I
Yes.
told you it was a burger. Please tell me. And
Yes,
and
yes.
if you set the turd sandwich down in front of me and I say, no, it's a burger, what are you doing? Just eat it. Then tell everybody else so they don't come to my restaurant, please.
Right.
Please.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Exactly. So please let it be known. Don't be shy. I know it's a very sensitive for a lot of people because the whole aspect of hurting your feelings comes into play. And I get that. It's human nature. We don't like to hurt each other. We don't like to hurt other people's feelings. We like to, at least I hope so anyway. Because I was raised, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, right? But in this instance, I hope you do. Because like I said, it's the only way I can grow, and it's the only way I can know for sure if I'm doing a good job or not, entertain you guys. Because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. It's me as a writer and a storyteller entertaining you with the story that I feel you would enjoy. So just keep that in mind. And with that said, Nick, you have any last thing you want to say, last words before we call it a night?
Just that it's been a great time. And if you haven't checked out Roy Beckwith and the Cursed Continent, I'd encourage you to. And let me know if it's if it's not up to snuff. People have I've sent out stuff. Hey, what do you think of this lettering? What do you think of X, Y, and Z? And I love that feedback. Someone edited my logo for me. Said, hey, what do you guys think of this?
Nice.
Yeah,
nice,
and he said, well, man, maybe you should do this because you can't really tell that P is a P. It kind of gets lost with the S. And so if you did this, perfect. Now that's the logo. It's perfect now. So I'm not averse to ideas from people and criticism. So just like you said, and I hope everyone has a great night. And I appreciate you bringing me on. This has been really fun. I can't wait to do our one-on-one interview. That'll be, even though this was kind of one-on-one, but it was
kind of one, but you were part of the discussion of the topic of the show. So
yeah,
we kind of kept it there, but for our one-on-one for sure, we're gonna dig deep with your approach, your craft, how you develop your stories, that kind of stuff. Because like I said, I find that stuff fascinating to hear from other writers. So
can't wait
for
be
a good one.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone else show up to it.
Yeah,
we'll
for sure. Keep an eye out for it, and of course I'll make sure to mention it on my social medias. In which case, Elucid Comic right there on X. If you want to follow me, if you have not followed me yet, follow me on Instagram with Elucid PRD. Follow me on right here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I also have a Facebook, which is the same thing, Elucid Comic. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, by all means, follow me there. Follow me on everywhere. I just started a TikTok today, so I'm going to slowly start building that one up, and I also have a Substack. So if you go to Julius Freeman 25 Substack, you'll find me there. Join my newsletter, so that way you can have the updates as to what I'm working on, and I also write essays about my journey as a comic book creator and the things that I've been through and experienced as a creator. And there's a lot of stories that I want to share with you guys, and I think you guys will enjoy it, especially if you're an up and coming creator like myself and Nick. It's a lot of I guess a school of hard knocks. I share what I experienced, and then hopefully you guys don't make the same mistake I'd made during my experience trying to get to become a working comic book creator. So keep an eye out, follow me there, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. So have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Later.
It was an ordinary night during an ordinary jog when Matt Guerra stepped into his destiny. Using his Jeet Kune Do, Matt teaches would-be violators that the cost of crime is too high for them to afford. But little does Matt know, his act of bravery has run afoul of Los Valientes, Orange County's most notorious street gang. The head of Los Valientes, the mysterious Dreamer, decides to make an example out of Matt. and amidst a brutal game of tit for tat, where anyone could get caught in the crossfire, Matt Guerra must bring an end to Los Valientes' wave of crime before his loved ones pay the ultimate price for his heroism. Matt Guerra is the Ghetto Dragon.